Mic check one. Mic check one. Mic check one. Hot mic. Rising in the name of Allah, the great God of the universe, giving honor to all his true and divine prophets, giving honor to the prophet of these days and times, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Islam family, welcome to Temple Talk. I am your host, Grand Sheikh Romeo Joyner L., Grand Sheikh and Divine Minister of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Subordinate Temple Number 7, Rosedale, Maryland. Before I start, as always, I'll give my disclaimer. The views and the opinions of the listening audience and the host, sometimes the guests, I'll say the guests, might not be consistent with the views and opinions of me, Grand Sheikh Romeo Joyner L., your host for Temple Talk. May not be consistent with my teachings, but my teachings, my statements, and my comments are consistent with the teachings of the Moorish Science Temple of America of the 5 principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Welcome to Temple Talk. Today, I'd like to discuss some various topics, some being a little exact or ordinary, but the purpose of this podcast is for information purposes only. It's not to cause confusion, debates, or to cause any harm to anyone. Me as your host, I don't have any harmful motive, and I will not speak radical of any organized group or cause any danger to anybody. So I want to make that real clear. The purpose of this podcast is for information purposes only. As always, we usually have a law and history class on Thursday nights here at 6628 Kenwood Avenue, Temple Level 7, Rosedale, Maryland, which is the subordinate temple of the Moorish Science of America, Temple Number 7. So I want to begin by saying to the supporting audience and the people who supported me since the inception of this podcast, I want to thank you. Thank all of the Moors, wherever you are, on the highways and the byways, and the ones who have yet to proclaim their nationality. I would strongly encourage you to look into it and to do so. Um, Visit your local Moor Science Temple of America, ask your questions, get your questions answered, and learn the truth about yourself, that you will be yourself and not someone else. Islam. So, I want to begin by saying to the listening audience, some of us don't know about the birth of this country. The birth of the United States of America started out in the 17th century with the original 13 colonies in 1602. And the first colony was Jamestown, Virginia. And in Jamestown is where you have your Williamsburg, where you can go to Colonial Williamsburg that they talk about so much. That's located in Jamestown, Virginia. If you haven't been there, I would strongly encourage you to go, because there's a lot of history on that location that they do not put in the books. They have misquoted a lot of things. You get a chance to see firsthand about a lot of things. The first thing that I'm going to mention that some of us don't know, that right within that location, there's a place called the Powhatan or the Powhatan Indian Village. It showed you where the indigenous people, or our people, and some free men and women and children that were held in captivity as slaves cohabitated. From out of that village, you get one of the most misunderstood and often misquoted characters, a woman by the name of Pocahontas. Pocahontas wasn't her real name. Her name was Mata Oka, and she was the daughter of a chief. And the character that pursued her and traced her through the woods, he was tracing a young girl. Now, Mata Oka, Pocahontas, if you will, later on was baptized by the Catholic Church and given the name of Rebecca. So you got to learn the history of that and how she related to the Moors. She was one of the Moabite princesses. She's from the Canaanite lineage. She was a Moabite. Check out the history. Look it up for yourself. Maryland was one of the original 13 colonies. Maryland is one of the original 13 colonies. Maryland is also the first southern state and the first northern state among that Mason-Dixon line through the history. Massachusetts was one of the original 13 colonies. And out of those 13 colonies came to 50 states. Look up the history. Learn the complete history about the birth or the 250 years of the history of America, and you'll find out some interesting things. Some things you can look up for yourself and research it, and you'll really be surprised on how much the history that has been distorted, misrepresented, and it has to be correct. And as I stated before, some of the things that you'll learn in this podcast, they will not teach you in school, and they definitely will not teach you in college. Colleges and universities are wonderful, but when you go in there, you're being indoctrinated into a system basically to learn how to remember theories, concepts, and you learn things about social constructs, about race, economics, religion, politics. Some science you'll get, but you have to do a lot of it on your own. Because if you want to get a thorough understanding of what they're teaching and indoctrinating you with in colleges, me being a college graduate myself, you'll learn to regurgitate or to repeat back to them things that they want you to remember. Attending colleges does not make you an extremely wise or intelligent person, and indoctrinate you into a system of learning and makes you an ultimate employee. They will not encourage you to be an entrepreneur. So I want to go back to my point about the history of this country. Knowing the history of this country is wonderful and great, but learn to correct things that you need to know. Learn the true history, how it relates to you, how it would help you to enhance your quality of life. What impact will it have on you educating yourself? So here at Temple number 7, we give our resources. We encourage you to think for yourself. As we say in the Sunday school, exercise your 5 senses and see if you can come to a logical conclusion and how the question at hand, it is answered, and how it relates to yourself. So I want to go back to the history of this country. When it comes down to the history of this country, people who are considered to be immigrants have made major contributions to this country. And just about every industry that you can name, anywhere from public safety to shipping, to farming, to inventions, music. It is the people that he considered to be the immigrants who produced all of those wonderful things. So America is a place where all who want to come to have a better quality of life based on hard work and free enterprise, where they can thrive and flourish. So when it talks about immigrants, whether they documented or undocumented, whether they came here through Ellis Island or they came on a good old ship called Jesus, they have made major contributions to this country. Always remember this fact. Immigrants is what makes America what it is. When the Irish came here, they joined the fire departments. Some of the Italians, a large portion of them, when they came in, they joined the police. And then some, like the Germans here in good old Baltimore, Maryland, were working and right shoulder to shoulder with our people, Asiatics, in the ship caulking business, and they were Germans. And they got along fine until they put in the restricted covenants, which means that there were sanctions put on them for hiring people who look like us. So we worked and lived together right over in the good old inner harbor that you have in Baltimore City. That's where Asiatics and German people lived together. They cohabitated without any issues until those restrictive covenants was put in. So my point is this. Immigrants have always enhanced and helped bring out the best in America. Regardless of how they came here, they brought something here to make America better. So when we meet people who don't look like us from other nationalities, do not have any contempt towards them, do not mistreat them, do not disrespect them. Remember one thing. Everybody matters in America. Right on the good old Statue of Liberty, it tells you to bring your poor and your hungry. And it tells you to bring your disenfranchised, and the underserved and undesirables and the underserved. It says that right on the good old Statue of Liberty that was actually given to the United States by the children of France. So do a little history on that and learn to find out how you have things in common and the things that makes you relevant or the things that make other people relevant also. So with that being said, please leave your comments, your questions, and if you have any information that you want to share with me, you know how to contact me. I'll be glad to sit down with you one-on-one with a phone call, 443-414-9443, or a visit at the Moore Science Temple America, supporting Temple number 7, 6628 Kenwood Avenue, Rosedale, Maryland. So I want to say to the listening audience, learn to love instead of hate. Always know that we have a purpose here to not just come here and do a few things and then leave. We all have to make major contributions to the communities in which we live. And if you want to see change in your environment, or in your community, you have to be the change that you want to see. With that, I want to say to the listening audience, I greet you. I greeted you in the name of peace, Islam, and I'll leave you the same way. Islam. And thank you for viewing Temple Talk. Peace.